Are you ready to join the space race, to invest in the final frontier? Look, there's no question that there is a space race of historic proportions going on. Who are the players? Well, the largest governments and countries in the world and the world's wealthiest tech billionaires. What's at stake? Huge advantages. The winner is going to reap great advantages in technology, for the military, geopolitical, even social advantages are going to go to the winner of the space race. And yeah, let's not forget potentially dizzying profits. Of course, the space race has been going on for years, but at hand is a defining moment. And that defining moment is the SpaceX initial public offering, IPO as it's known, scheduled for this month in June of 2026. If that IPO comes off as scheduled, as people anticipate, that's going to be a $1.75 to $2 trillion valuation for SpaceX. That's going to make it one of the most valuable companies in the world as soon as it's listed, not to mention probably the largest IPO ever. On top of that, NASDAQ is going to list SpaceX shares on the NASDAQ exchange the day that they go IPO. That's not usually the case. Usually what happens is when a company has an IPO, there's what's called a sorting out period, a period of price discovery, where we try to figure out where the stock will ultimately land. Not this time. SpaceX will be listed right away. It seems that everything about this SpaceX IPO is historic. So, is it right for you? Let's take a look at the pros and cons. I'm going to start with the cons. You know, looking back, the history of these blockbuster IPOs, it's not really that good. What we've seen is that very often you can buy the shares of these blockbuster IPOs at less than the IPO price, down the road. Short, medium term, we've seen the stocks trade lower than the IPO price. So if you're patient, you might be able to buy SpaceX at a lower price point. Secondly, as a business, as a whole, SpaceX isn't making any money. Yes, their satellite communication division is making lots of profits. That's a great business for profits. However, those profits are being overwhelmed by losses in other divisions, like their AI infrastructure and rocket launchers. So we're buying a company that's actually not making any money yet. So when you look at SpaceX as an IPO, valuations are very high. It's a company investing in space. Investments are always risky in the short term, but this investment has a couple of layers of risk that are unique to SpaceX and make the investment high risk. High risk. Well, spoils go to the bold. Let's look at the pro side. Capital flows where investors believe capital will grow. And capital has been flowing massively into technology and space. Remember some time ago when analysts thought people were crazy for investing in Facebook and Google long before those companies were making money? Well, those long-term investors have certainly been rewarded for investing in the company at that time. Secondly, first to market advantage. It could well be in this case that the company that gets into space first and establishes the infrastructure first, it's just going to be too costly for competitors to catch up. So first market advantage here could be very important. And when you think about SpaceX, the upside, well, It's potentially as big as you can imagine. Or not. But let's say you decided you do want to join the space race. You do want to invest in the final frontier. How do you do it? Well, number one, you don't have to do it alone. Call me. Our team can help you sort out amongst many alternatives for investing in SpaceX. One, of course, you can simply buy the IPO when it starts trading on the NASDAQ. Number two, you could buy a NASDAQ ETF, which will include SpaceX. Number three, you could buy a fund company that might own some of that SpaceX IPO at pre-IPO prices. There's other ways as well. Lots of alternatives. It's also really important to consider which account you might use to invest in a company like SpaceX, with the potential for gains, potential for losses. Really, asset location is an important consideration in this type of investment. Again, you don't have to do it alone. Call us. We can help you walk through the options that would be best for you. If you've decided you want to join the space race, invest in the final frontier. Hey, and if you know anyone else who's thinking about investing in SpaceX, please feel free to share this video.